Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Now we have barely anything, so not much of anything happened this week for the Lightning Collection, but that doesn't mean we can talk about a couple of little things that did trickle out sort of here, and just, talk about the current state of everything going on in the world of the LC, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. So really the only thing that's of any actual note that we can discuss was some listings for some upcoming case assortments for upcoming waves of Lightning Collection related stuff that were found yesterday. So these came from a distributor. I'm not going to name the distributor because I got a tiny bit of heat for posting the screenshot from the distributor, and then they got taken down afterward. What was on that distributor website was the case assortment. Now there was really not much information we can decipher from all of this, but it was the case assortment for Versus Packs Wave 2, and then Monsters Wave 2 and Monsters Wave 3. So we'd already talked about ad nauseum here the last couple of weeks about Versus Wave 2 and Monsters Wave 2 from all of those most recent listings and such. But this was kind of our first confirmation of a Monsters Wave 3, which is going to lend a lot of credence to the idea that the LGY Little Bang and the BLM Sputnik codes belong to Monsters. I had figured they would, but then again, I was also kind of hoping that they would be battleizers, but as people pointed out in the comments below, they would probably have the Jupiter code in front of them or somewhere in them if they were going to be Red Ranger battleizers, which totally makes sense, but I was just kind of hoping that maybe there was that slight chance. And I guess technically there is still a slight chance because the Monsters assortments are codenamed BLT, which we know is Lightning Collection, OCT, which I always assumed stood for Monsters, because I also kind of think of OCT, October, Halloween, Monsters, but that could just be me trying to make connections that aren't actually there. But for the most part, I assume that means Monsters. Then again, I suppose it could also mean deluxe figure class, because that's what the $30 price point is for. So I don't know. I feel like Monsters is probably the more likely idea for what OCT is actually supposed to mean. But regardless, it's a third wave of $30 priced figures, more likely going to be Monsters. So there is that. Now, there's no release dates for any of this stuff here, but then again, we already know what it is, really. We know that Monsters Wave 2 is coming out on June 1st or around June 1st alongside Wave 9, and we know that Monsters Wave 3 or whatever those other two figures are going to be will be released alongside Versus Packs Wave 2 and Wave 10 on September 1st. So there's still plenty of time before we're going to see any pictures or confirmation for any of that stuff. But it's cool to see it, especially to actually see a Monsters Wave 3 assortment listing. It's just cool to see that there. Now, I didn't post it on the Twitter yesterday, but they did have the case assortments for Mainline, Wave 9, and Wave 10, but nothing super exciting there, I suppose, because we all knew that we would have Wave 9 and Wave 10, but it is still cool to see the idea of just confirming that there are going to be Versus Wave 2, Monsters Wave 2, which we always knew because the first cases for those last year were labeled Wave 1, and they usually don't do a Wave 1 if there isn't going to be a Wave 2. So just, something cool to discuss there just for the stuff that's coming in the future. We have a little bit more because listings are popping up all over the place. Nothing new listing-wise, but still something to talk about. So speaking of listings, we do have those classic listings that we've seen all over the place here recently for Wave 9 and such popping up on more and more places. So we did have that one website that I'm still not going to mention, which is where the source, the first time we saw the codes for the SRE Nuclear Venus and the BLM Earth Silver Photon and stuff like that. Well, we have a website very similar to that same one that also has a lot of these up, and they just recently put their pages up for these. So we have the LGY Earth and the CTH Tenga from Wave 9 that are up there. We'd already talked before how those are up on Amazon. I found another website that had some Dino Fury toy listings on it, which doesn't really pertain to Lightning Storm, but it's still cool to see that. And on that website, they had LGY Earth and such. So for whatever reason, I'm seeing LGY Earth pop up a lot, which is the Lost Galaxy Blue figure from Wave 9. That kind of makes me think that it's slightly potentially possible that would be our 3 per case figure for Wave 9. I could definitely see that going that way. We've got 3 per case Dino Thunder Blue in Wave 8, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that a Blue Ranger would be a 3 per case instead of a red. So, and also there's not a red in Wave 9, so there couldn't be a red, so, there is that. But still just cool to see that those listings are popping up in more and more places. The more that keeps happening, I would venture to guess that we might actually finally get the reveal of Wave 9 hopefully sometime soon. Fan First Friday live streams are kind of making a comeback, sort of. They announced that there's going to be a Star Wars one next Friday on the 29th. So we'll see if maybe like the first weekend of February or something we could get something. I would love to see that. Of course, like we've mentioned before about how Toy Fair was canceled, it's unknown if Hasbro's going to try to do something in February to supplement that, to fill in the slot that Toy Fair would have been, because that would have been like the third weekend of February, and that I almost guarantee you would have been when they revealed Wave 9 and Monsters Wave 2, since those are slated for the June release. So I'm really hoping we can get something announced in February for that, because I'd like to see these, especially like who CCH Tenga is, because I'm very curious about that. Then again, it'll probably just turn out to be like a cog or something, which is still cool. Totally down for that, but I just want to see it. You know, I'm very interested in this. So we'll see what happens with all of that, but hopefully sooner rather than later we will get our announcements for all that stuff. Circling back to the Dino Fury news for just a second, there was interesting information that came out from Dino Fury news this week that doesn't pertain to Lightning directly, but it can help us in the future. So on Walmart, there were two basic figure listings, so you know the normal $10 figures that they do in the main line for the Gold Ranger and Void Knight, which is widely considered to be the American adaptation name for Gaisolg from Ryusoldier. So it seems like that's what they're going to use for his name. And under those two codes, we actually found what their codes were. So the Gold Ranger figure was coded DRM, which they've been using for Dino Fury stuff in the basic line. They've also been using DNF, and I even saw CRM used once. So it's really weird and not consistent about what they use for the Dino Fury codes, but that part doesn't really matter. What does matter is that Gold was codenamed DRM Saturn. So we do know that the basic figures use the same planet codes as the Lightning Collection figures do, because the first wave of figures has red, pink, blue, and Boom Tower, and red, pink, and blue were codenamed the Jupiter, Neptune, and Earth like they are in Lightning Collection. So because of that, we can pretty much basically guarantee that Saturn is going to be the code for Gold. So that does really help us here. So if just to keep track at home here, we got Mercury is green, Venus is unknown, although it's looking likely, more and more likely by the day, to be yellow. Then we have Earth being blue, then we have Mars is black, Jupiter is red, Saturn is gold, Uranus hasn't been used yet, Neptune is pink, and Pluto hasn't been used yet. So they can still technically use those two for silver. Purple wouldn't be used that often throughout Power Rangers history, but there's still a couple seasons that would use purple. And also silver, unless silver is like the Parsec code or something like that, which it could be, although I'm not expecting it to be. It also could just be plain as day as the silver or the SVLR or whatever they have a silver photon listed as in that 1-2 pack. It could very well be that. So it could just be clear as day silver. And then another thing, just to talk about the codes I mentioned, DRM Saturn for gold, and then Void Knight's code was DRM purple. So if that gives you any indication of, or more credence to the idea that Void Knight is the Gaisolg suit, Gaisolg is basically considered a Purple Ranger, kind of the Purple Ranger of the Ryusoldiers, so that makes sense to me. Even more evidence that will be Gaisolg, because Gaisolg is very much purple. He's also a lot silver, but purple, I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense to me. So we have that. So Saturn, gold, finally been able to make that connection. I like that we have that there. Helpful for us in the future. We don't have any Lightning Collection codes that have Saturn in them right now. So right now, no Gold Rangers on the horizon for the foreseeable future. Doesn't mean that we can't get a gold in like one of the store exclusives this year, or on Hasbro Pulse or a convention or something, you know. It could still pop up sometime this year. Or they could change the whole codes again and never use Saturn in Lightning Collection. Who knows? So, because one day, I guarantee you they'll change the whole code systems up again. I just hope that it's later rather than sooner, because it's already hard enough to figure this out the first time. I don't want to have to do this all over again. So, for a third time, because this is the second time we're doing that. So, yeah, that is all there really is for Lightning Collection news this week. As the days continue here, I'm more and more expecting Wave 8 to show up any day now, to be honest with you. I know that Wave 8 isn't slated to be out until March 1st, and even April 1st on Hasbro Pulse and Amazon. But when have Lightning Collection releases ever abided by their release dates? They almost never do. And there's other Hasbro lines that have March toys already trickling out. People are finding them at different comic shops and hobby shops and all this other stuff, which is pretty par for the course. And for reference, last year, Wave 4 was the first wave of 2020, and it was slated for a March 1st release, and it actually ended up coming out via Entertainment Earth and during the final week of January. And we are about to enter the final week of January. So I feel like the earliest possible time frame we could see Wave 8 showing up or shipping out or something, it wouldn't be from Pulse or Amazon yet. They're going to be more abiding by the March 1st, April 1st release dates, but I would very much expect Wave 8 to be showing up here, if not in the next week, within the next month, because it has been a little while, and at least it's not out yet, you know. I actually finally just got Spectrum Monsters in the other day after the USPS lost them for a month, so I'm all caught up on Lightning right now, which means it's probably time for something to just show up in the wild so I can get behind again, because that just kind of seems to be how it goes here. So that's all I got here for Lightning Storm this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Once again, you know, not much to talk about, but we're kind of in a lull of news right now, which is fine. Makes perfect sense because we got a lot of listings at the beginning of the month, and we don't have any announcements relatively soon as far as I can see, unless they just drop something randomly, which has happened. So, you know, we're just kind of waiting around, just seeing what's going to happen for Lightning Collection this year and waiting for releases to come out and more speculation. So let me know down in the comments below, just what are you looking forward to? How early do you think that Hasbro will reveal Wave 9 and Monsters Wave 2? Because I do hope and kind of feel it will be within the next month, just going off of the past 2 years, but of course everything is all weird and different now because Toy Fair isn't happening, Morphicon got delayed again, so all this stuff that there could have been announcements at just keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed, so, you know, it is what it is right now. So also, I wanted to give a little update. I have had people in the comments asking me about when Lightning Library will be returning. I do want to apologize for the lack of videos in the month of January. There's pretty much only been Lightning Storm episodes, and that was not what I wanted to do, but this month has been pretty chaotic. I've mentioned it before, but I've been organizing stuff behind me here, and it's still not done, and you're lucky you're not even seeing the way that the room looks around me, because it's a mess. I've been reorganizing stuff, dusting things, trying to set up new displays and stuff like that. So the room has been a pretty big disaster, but I'll probably maybe do like an updated room tour or something when that's done. And I'm hoping to get back into the groove of videos like more frequently in February. Even I'm trying to branch out into more non-Lightning Collection related figure stuff. And I do have Lightning Collection things that are not Lightning Storm planned for the month of February, and I do hope to have Lightning Library return at the beginning of February, that first Wednesday, so that's my current targeted release. I've also been busy because this past week, the spring semester of college started up, because I am a college student, and so I've been busy with getting, you know, back into the groove of things on that as well. So sorry for the lack of uploads in January. I'm hoping to fix that in February, but once again, thank you guys for the support here on this series. I can't thank you all enough. You guys still seem to really like this series, going strong, and next weekend will be unless I have to do an emergency episode in the middle of the week, which I really hope I don't have to because I don't want to break up the number scheme here. But next weekend will be the 50th episode of Lightning Storm. So I can't believe that we are here already. 50 episodes of this series. That's pretty insane. And I can't believe we're going strong still. I mean, I never thought this series would take off as well as it has, and I really appreciate it. I love making it. It's great talking about my favorite figure line with all of you down in the comments below and just speculating on things. And even though it has its problems, I feel like it's an extremely fun line to discuss. So, and of course, if you want to discuss Lightning Collection stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at 2 different places, at Living Ranger Keys, my personal account, or at Lightning and Fig PR for strictly Lightning Collection related content. And until next time on Lightning Storm, I'll see you on the series where lightning always strikes twice. I'll see you guys later.